If you're a man over 50 and still masturbating, you might be doing your body a huge favor or unknowingly sabotaging your health. It sounds simple, even harmless. But what if I told you this private habit could impact your prostate testosterone levels, sleep quality, and even your ability to connect emotionally with a partner? The truth is, what you think is normal might be helping you or quietly hurting you. So, where's the line between healthy and harmful? In this video, we'll uncover surprising science-backed facts and give you real practical steps to keep your sexual health strong well into your 60s and beyond. Stay with me till the end for a simple three-step formula to boost male vitality, no pills, no shame. And if you've ever had similar questions, just comment one below so I know you're not alone. Like, subscribe, and let's talk honestly, man to man. Let's break the silence with science, because behind this taboo topic are powerful facts that could change how you age. Starting with benefit number one. One, it helps maintain penile tissue elasticity. As you get older, your body naturally produces less nitric oxide and blood flow tends to slow. That can lead to a dangerous process called fibrosis, where the soft erectile tissue hardens over time. But when you achieve regular erections even without orgasm, you force blood into the corpora cavernosa, stretching those sponge-like chambers and keeping them supple. A Dutch study in andrology found that men who maintained regular erections past age 50 had a significantly lower risk of developing Peyronie's disease. So even 2 to 3 minutes of full erection 3 or 4 times a week is enough to act like physical therapy for your penis. Just avoid a death grip. Excessive pressure actually reduces circulation. But the penis isn't the only organ getting a workout. Let's look inside the prostate. 2. It protects your prostate and lowers cancer risk. Every time you ejaculate, your prostate flushes out stagnant fluids that, if left too long, may become inflammatory or even carcinogenic. A landmark Harvard study followed over 30,000 men and found that those who ejaculated at least 21 times per month had a 33% lower risk of developing prostate cancer. It's not about pleasure, it's about prevention. Even men with chronic prostatitis report fewer flare-ups when they increase frequency from just 2 or 3 times a week to 5 or more. If you've had prostate surgery, though, consult your urologist before resuming activity. Those contractions also train a hidden set of muscles you use every time you cough or lift. 3. It strengthens your pelvic floor and helps with control. You might not feel it, but every orgasm activates key pelvic muscles, especially the PC muscle pubococcygeus and the bulbocavernosus. An EMG study published in Urology showed that climax produces over 30% activation in this region. If you tack on 10 quick Kegels right after orgasm, you can double the training effect. Most men see improvements in control and firmness within 6 to 8 weeks. Just don't hold your breath or strain. You're strengthening, not pushing. Training muscles is great, but what about your stress levels for? It helps regulate cortisol and supports blood pressure. Orgasms calm your entire stress system, what scientists call the HPA axis. Within 10 minutes, cortisol levels can drop by up to 25%. A German study on men aged 55 to 65 showed that this drop helps regulate systolic blood pressure and reduce anxiety. So instead of doom scrolling after a long day, try a mindful solo session and see how your body responds. Just know, if you're doing it several times a day to manage anxiety, it's time to look at your broader emotional toolkit. Lower stress hormones set the stage for a big boost in feel-good chemistry. 5. It boosts dopamine and oxytocin, enhancing mood and connection. Your brain lights up during climax. Dopamine floods your reward center, and oxytocin, the bonding hormone, rises sharply. A recent meta-analysis using fMRI scans confirmed how powerful these surges are for emotional well-being. Even for widowers or men living alone, pairing a short solo session with a moment of reflection like gratitude or positive memory can ease loneliness and create a sense of grounded contentment. Be careful, though, if you're pairing every session with extreme porn, you may be dulling your brain's sensitivity to real human connection. While chemicals surge, your hands are also running a private health check. 6. It helps detect early signs of genital abnormalities. You know your body better than anyone else, especially when you touch it regularly. Regular self contact helps you notice changes like testicular lumps, skin thickening, or unusual curvature. A UK survey found that nearly half of testicular cancers in older men were first detected during masturbation. It takes less than 30 seconds to do a quick tactile scan before or after showering. Note any changes on your phone or calendar. If you notice persistent pain swelling or a bend over 15 degrees, see a urologist promptly. Spotting problems early can help you sleep at night, literally. 7. It promotes deeper, more restorative sleep. After orgasm, your brain releases prolactin and oxytocin together. They quiet the amygdala, relax your system, and help you drift into deep, slow wave sleep. A recent study published in Sleep Medicine showed that men aged 50 to 70 slept an average of 14 minutes longer after climax compared to nights without. If you struggle with insomnia, try scheduling a relaxed, screen-free session about an hour before bed, but avoid stimulating yourself while staring into a bright screen. Blue light suppresses melatonin and can cancel out the benefits. Good sleep is built on good circulation, especially below the belt. 8. It improves pelvic blood flow and prevents congestion. Just like walking keeps your legs healthy, masturbation keeps the entire pelvic region moving. Rhythmic contractions squeeze veins and open arteries, helping drain lymph and deliver fresh blood to key organs. A Doppler ultrasound study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that blood flow increased by 35% for 20 minutes post-orgasm. If you sit all day, consider pairing your evening session with a brisk walk earlier together. They counteract stagnation. If you suffer from hemorrhoids, side-lying positions may help relieve pressure. Better circulation also means better control when the moment matters. 9. It's a training ground for ejaculatory control. Ever heard of the stop-start method? Masturbation gives you a private, judgment-free space to practice it. This technique alternates stimulation, and pausing helps rewire your brain's timing mechanisms. One clinical review showed that men who practiced 3 times a week for 12 weeks improved their ejaculation time by up to 3x. Try 60 seconds of stimulation. 30 seconds, rest, repeated 3 cycles. Add a squeeze if you need more control. If progress stalls, a pelvic floor therapist can help fine-tune your results. Finally, the brain itself benefits every time you light up those pathways. 10. It keeps your sexual neural circuits active and your libido alive. Use it or lose it. It's not just a saying, it's neurobiology. When you engage in sexual thought, touch, and stimulation, you preserve the activity of key brain regions tied to arousal and reward. A long-term brain scan study found that men over 60 who remained sexually active had denser dopamine receptor activity than their abstinent peers. Even if you're not with a partner, mix up your sensory input, touch, imagination, scent to keep things feeling novel and exciting. Long breaks can dull desire, but gentle reactivation brings it back over time. 10 solid wins, from stronger erections to sharper sleep. But remember, every tool has a sharp edge. In the next section, we'll expose the risks many men don't see coming until it's too late. Everything with power has a price, and even something as natural and instinctive as masturbation, when misused, can quietly backfire. So now that we've explored the many benefits, let's flip the coin. Here are 10 hidden dangers most men never see coming, until they do. 1. Social isolation, when pleasure replaces connection. What begins as a private way to unwind can slowly turn into a substitute for real human connection. Instead of reaching out, talking to someone, or building intimacy, some men retreat into solo comfort and stay there. You might tell yourself it's just convenient. But if you find yourself turning to it instead of calling a friend or going on a date, it might be something deeper. This is called emotional bypassing, using pleasure to mask loneliness. Ask yourself, when was the last time you chose connection over the screen? But isolation isn't the only silent cost. It can get physical. 2. Mechanical injury, when it's too rough or repetitive. Your skin gets thinner with age. The same intensity that once felt fine can now cause tiny tears, irritation, or even inflammation around the glands and shaft. Redness, soreness, stinging, or small cuts can all be signs that your technique needs adjusting. Use a water-based lubricant, preferably fragrance-free and gentle, on aging skin. Repeat injuries, even minor ones, raise the risk of infections, especially urinary tract issues, and sometimes the way we touch ourselves trains the brain in ways we don't expect. 3. Desensitization, training your brain into a corner. If you always stimulate the same spot with the same rhythm in the same position, your brain adapts. That unique setup becomes the only path to climax. And suddenly, being with a real partner feels underwhelming. To avoid this trap, vary your touch pace position, even switch hands or settings. Introduce imagination, not just repetition. Keep your body curious, not conditioned. And when we ignore these signals, we may also miss deeper health issues. 4. Masking erectile dysfunction, first ignoring the warning signs. Some men can only get erect when alone, never with a partner. They chalk it up to nerves or mood, but it could be a sign of something more. Underlying causes like heart disease, diabetes, or low testosterone often first show up in sexual performance. If you notice this pattern, erections during masturbation, but not with a partner, it's time to talk to your doctor. Because sometimes the problem isn't psychological, it's physiological. And sometimes even your posture during masturbation can work against you. 5. Pudendal nerve compression, bad posture, numb response. Sitting hunched over on a hard chair may seem harmless, but over time, it compresses the pudendal nerve, which supplies sensation to your genitals. This can lead to numbness, tingling, or even chronic pelvic pain. Try lying on your side with a pillow between your knees or reclining with lower back support. Switch things up because how you position your body affects how it performs. But posture isn't the only thing we use masturbation to escape from. 6. Emotional avoidance. Using pleasure to numb instead of heal. It's easy to reach for pleasure when you're frustrated, stressed, or bored. But when masturbation becomes your go-to emotional outlet, it blocks real healing. You're not releasing stress, you're deflecting it. Instead, take 5 minutes to meditate. Write down what's actually bothering you. Breathe. Masturbation can coexist with emotional clarity, but it shouldn't replace it. And for some men, the real struggle runs even deeper. 7. Shame and guilt, the hidden emotional toll. Many of us grew up being told it was dirty, wrong, or sinful. Even decades later, those early messages can echo in the background, creating guilt after every session, even if logically you know better. This guilt chips away at self-esteem and can damage your ability to open up emotionally to others. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and sex-positive counseling can help you reframe your experience because there's nothing shameful about understanding and honoring your body. And even if you've made peace with it emotionally, your body might still be sending signals. 8. Pelvic congestion, when frequency backfires. Like anything done too often, overmasturbation can throw off your balance. Men who ejaculate multiple times a day for weeks on end may develop a dull ache in the testicles or heaviness in the perineum. This is pelvic congestion when blood pools and doesn't drain efficiently. For most men, over 52 to 5 sessions per week is plenty. If your body feels sore instead of satisfied, it's telling you to ease up. But what if you're still trying to conceive? 9. Reduced sperm quality, a warning for would-be fathers. Frequent ejaculation, especially daily, can lower sperm concentration and motility, at least temporarily. If you and your partner are trying for a child, especially through IVF, timing is everything. Studies show that abstaining for 2 to 5 days yields the best sperm quality. So if you're hoping to conceive, give your body a chance to optimize production. And finally, one risk that's quietly rewiring how men see sex altogether. 10. Porn-induced distortion, losing touch with real connection. When your brain gets flooded with fast, high-intensity sexual images day after day, it starts to change. What once turned you on now feels boring. This is called arousal habituation, and it's powerful. Over time, you may lose interest in real intimacy. To reset, scale back. Let 70% of your sessions come from memory fantasy or connection to your own body, only 30% from visual media. If you find yourself needing more extreme material to get aroused, that's a red flag. So yes, masturbation has power. But like any powerful tool, it demands awareness. From isolation to nerve pain to emotional confusion, these risks are real. But they don't mean you should stop. They mean you should get smarter about how you do it. Coming up next, how to practice healthy, guilt-free self-pleasure at any age. Stick around because in the next section, I'll show you exactly how to do it right. So now we know both the light and the shadow, but what does healthy, guilt-free self-pleasure actually look like? Let's get practical and personal because the truth is, masturbation after 50 isn't about how much, it's about how mindful. Let's start with frequency. There's no magic number that fits everyone. Your ideal rhythm depends on your age, energy, hormonal levels, medications, emotional state, and most importantly, your relationship with your own body. For many healthy men, over 61 to 3 times a week can be part of a balanced sexual wellness routine. Think of it like physiological exercise for your libido and pelvic health. But here's the better question. After you finish, how do you feel? Do you feel relaxed, centered, content? Or do you feel drained, empty, or quietly frustrated? If your sessions are leaving you worse off, not better, that's your body speaking. High frequency doesn't mean high performance, and low frequency doesn't mean something's wrong. You don't need to chase a number, just learn to hear your own signals. But sometimes the problem isn't how often you do it, it's when. So when should you not masturbate? Just because you can doesn't always mean you should. Many men turn to self-pleasure when they're anxious, angry, bored, or emotionally numb. And instead of resolving what they feel, they drown it in temporary sensation. Here's how you know it's misaligned. You finish and feel regret, or a drop in mood, or shame. You realize you weren't trying to connect with yourself, you were trying to escape something else. So here's a tip. Before you begin, pause and ask, am I doing this because I genuinely want to, or am I avoiding something I don't want to feel? If the answer isn't clear, wait 15 minutes. In the meantime, jot down 3 emotions you're feeling, then decide. You might still choose to do it or not. But now it's conscious. That makes all the difference. And when you do choose to engage, do it without shame. Masturbation doesn't need to be a secret, but it does need to be private, intentional, and respectful, especially for older generations. The cultural baggage around this topic runs deep. Some of us were taught that masturbation was dirty, shameful, or a sign of weakness. But it's none of those things. It's not a disease. It's also not a cure-all. It's a natural biological act, like sleeping or breathing or stretching. And like any of those, it becomes healthy when practiced with awareness. So treat it that way. Create a private, calm space. Use it as a form of self-care, not something rushed or hidden in guilt. If you're in a relationship, be honest with your partner. You don't need to ask for permission, but you do deserve mutual understanding. Let's reframe it. Masturbation isn't a dirty little secret. When practiced with awareness, it becomes a form of emotional hygiene, especially in your 50s, 60s, and beyond, because real maturity isn't about killing desire. It's about learning how to walk alongside it without fear, without shame, and without apology. Healthy masturbation isn't about how often you do it, it's about how consciously. When it supports your body, respects your emotions, and fits your life, it becomes a tool, not a trap. In our final section, we'll wrap everything together, and I'll leave you with one clear, empowering message to take with you. At the end of the day, masturbation after 50 isn't right or wrong. It's a tool. And like any tool, it depends on how and why you use it. Used with awareness and care, it can support your health, your sleep, your confidence, even your connection to yourself. But when done out of habit, guilt, or escape, it can quietly work against you. You don't need to hide it, and you definitely don't need to outgrow it. Own it gently, honestly, and on your terms. If this video gave you something new to think about, let me know. Drop a 1 in the comments if any part of this resonated with you, and if you're ready for the next step, don't miss the next video. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you there.